Going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. Hope everyone out there had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have enjoyed a great Black Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed some awesome Thanksgiving football and our first ever Black Friday matchup between the Jets and the Dolphins today. We'll talk about that a bit. Hope you guys are doing great. You know what we're here for tonight? Fantasy Q&A, anything that you guys need, start, sits, maybe trades, probably not, depending on your league. Roster reviews, injury updates. How did things go for you guys in the Thanksgiving games and today's game? What do you have left in your lineup? Who should you start? Who should you bench? You guys know what it is. It's week 12. We're already almost to week 13. So as always, tonight we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football and answer some fantasy questions. We've got Pete from After the Review Sports in the house tonight with us. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just, holiday weekend. We've had 4 games played already. It feels weird. I kind of feel like there's not much for us to talk about here. I'm just kidding. There's still a lot of games left to talk about. But, had the good, had the bad, all in between with my Thanksgiving games, playing against guys who were going crazy. Did have the Dolphins defense today and the Fail Mary on Black Friday. Love to see history go on your side.
I know. I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw Hail Mary go for a pick six. I mean,
I'm sure it's happened, but of course it happened to the Jets. Of course it happened in prime time. And of course it was at the end of the half, not even the end of the game where it's okay, the guy ran it back just for, fun to run up the score. It mattered that pick six happened.
It was also even more weird because the Dolphins had just thrown a pick six 30 seconds before, it felt like. So yeah, but huge. I mean, Dolphins defense by my start of the week. So glad you started them. Hopefully most of you guys out there.
I couldn't go wrong this week. I had the Niners as my other option. Couldn't make a bad decision this week.
Yeah, you really couldn't. I mean, really just kind of 3 blowouts essentially. And then we had a big upset between the Packers and the Lions. And I guess for you probably didn't enjoy that because you want more losses for the Packers right now with that playoff hunt, right?
Yeah, there's some challenged Viking fans out there celebrating the Lions lost, we control our own destiny. I'm we're not catching the Lions. The Packers are now right on our tails. Yeah. And I don't have a good feeling about Minnesota against Chicago on Monday at all. So we could be in really bad spots. But I did laugh. Christian Watson, you got rid of him 2 weeks ago, and now 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one. Of course. See, I did it for everyone out there who owns Christian Watson because as soon as I drop him and I start telling you guys I'm not even discussing Christian Watson and starting lineups night after night, week after week for 2 weeks now, he does Christian Watson things. And he looks good. They're drawing up plays for him. Fully healthy, I guess. These things happen. It's part of the game. It's part of fantasy. I can admit to it. And, of course, now Romeo Doubs looks 10 times worse, and I have him on that same roster. But nonetheless, let us know how the Thanksgiving games went for you guys. I know there's going to be a lot of, up in the air roster decisions because some of you guys are going to have a lot of points stacked against you. I mean, literally, the Lions, Packers, Cowboys, Niners, Dolphin starters, whether you have them on your, against you or in your starting lineup, there's big implications here. We have a lot of fantasy points scored in these 4 games. So let us know how things impacted you guys. But of course, whatever you guys need moving into week 12, let us know. And we'll quickly go through the news for the day. And then we'll talk some fantasy football. So Texans wide receiver Noah Brown is out for week 12. Very promising waiver wire pickup. Now just kind of has been hurt, but I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Probably worth keeping on your bench for now just because he's tied to Stroud and the Texans. Head coach Sean McVay says that Cooper Kupp will play against the Cardinals. So I've already seen murmurs about this. What are we going to do with Cooper Kupp this week? I'm going to be really boring and say you treat him like Cooper Kupp and you probably put him in your starting lineup because it's a great matchup, but awful pass defense, and it's Cooper Kupp. So T. Higgins out against the Steelers. I think Higgins is probably just gonna rest up most of the season, and I can't really blame him. But we'll see what happens. That's really about it. Donta Foreman still has not practiced. He's probably trending towards being out. Justin Jefferson,
Out.
not expected to play this week. Not a huge surprise there. Maybe a surprise. And that should actually be about it. Everything else kind of pertaining to the games that are already played. So, kind of boring news update, but there's what we got for you guys. So, that's not wasting time. Let's see what you guys need. All right. Walketeers, what's up? Wilson, hello. Chase, good to see everybody. Thank you guys for being here. What's up, Ghost Hunter? Walketeers, I'd seeing Amon-Ross was a good Thanksgiving. Very nice. What's going on, Chase? Chase number 2, Chase Brown. What's up, dude? Tommy, how about my Brandon Cooks play? Let's go. I'm so glad that we decided that on stream the other night, and we got him in your starting lineup because you really needed some upside. Played St. Brown, Cook, Waddle, Miami D for 76 points. Let's go. Love to hear it. Ghost Hunter, Thursday was rough for me for the most part. Faced Christian Watson, Dak, and Kittle all in one league. Only had B-Rob and Depot. Yeah, it's kind of hard to like, here's the thing, right? Is you're going to see a lot of matchups right now, and you're going to probably have the projections either lopsided in one direction or the other, at least if you're worried, right? But you just never know. Like, 3 of your opponent's players who haven't played yet could completely dud, and vice versa. Like, you could have 3 players really go off as well. So, hard to look at projections right now with only 4 games played going into Sunday because you're not going to see this any other week of the year. But you never know. Like I always tell you guys, it's not over till it's over. But yeah, that's a little rough. Had Niners D, but dropped them for Miami and went to the Hawks game last minute. Didn't want to play Niners D versus my Hawks, even though I knew they'd do good. I don't blame you. Takes more of the fun out of it. But yeah, I mean, you got the Dolphins, so you're good. All right, half PPR, start 2. Collins, Downs, Connor, Singletary. Generally, in half PPR, I gravitate towards the running back position. But I like Nico Collins and Josh Downs in this circumstance. I think both these guys can score this weekend, which is going to be big in half PPR for me as well. Connor, Singletary, both seeing good volume, so they could stumble in, but not the best matchups for those 2 guys this weekend. So Singletary against the Jags, they're top 4 against the position. And then Connor, on the other hand, against the Rams, they're 9th against the position. So I personally go Collins and Downs, who both have intriguing matchups. What do you think, Pete?
Yeah, I like that. Like James Conner needs more touches. It feels like every time I see him run, he makes it. But Downs, you're playing one of the worst pass defenses, coming off a bye. So, and Pittman's going to draw whoever they have out there. Pittman's going to draw it. So Downs going to have some looks. And I'm all in on the Texans, just wide receiver core. Like, yeah, Tank Dell seems to be that guy. But if teams kind of flip their approach because they've been approaching Nico as the one, and Dell's been getting the second tier guys. If they flip it, Nico's going to cook. And I think Nico has a bigger game because I think CJ maybe has to be a little bit more conservative with the football this week and not try and push the ball so far downfield and get himself into trouble in spots.
Sure. Yeah, I actually think I really like Collins and Downs' potential to find the end zone this weekend. Because I feel like kind of similar with like Tank Dell on the Texans, like you were saying, Pittman's going to draw that defensive pressure for the Colts. And I don't know. I mean, I actually looked at it today. Pittman has scored 3 touchdowns. Downs has scored 2 on the season. One of those 2 guys is going to score. This Tampa Bay secondary, which got even more banged up last week, is awful. I mean, they're awful. 28th against wide receivers fantasy-wise. So, yeah, I go Nico Collins and Josh Downs for sure. I feel pretty good about that. That Jags defense is good, but the weakest part of it.
Do we know if the Jags are good? Like every week, are the Jags good? Yeah.
Sure.
Singletary can't do that 3 weeks in a row, though. Come on.
And it's like, I mean, Connor's getting great volume. He just hasn't found the end zone. Singletary, good, but it's just tough matchups for both these guys. Any starting running back can always stumble into the end zone, just like any wide receiver one going up against a good corner can always come up with a touchdown grab. But I go Collins and Downs here. Hello, Warrior Loft. Good to see you. Chase, torn between flexing Deontay or London. No more Matt Canada, but Lattimore is out. Yeah, but Kenny Pickett's still there, right? I don't know. I mean, I think we could potentially see more out of this Steelers offense, but like, don't you want to kind of like wait 1 week and see?
You want to see it.
I do too. I mean, the Bengals haven't necessarily been good against wide receivers this year. And like, I don't know, can we trust a player on Arthur Smith offense?
No.
No. But I kind of lean towards Drake London. But
They're at least coming off of the bye. Is Heineke starting for them, or is it going to be Ritter?
It's Ritter.
It's Ritter. Like, yeah, yikes. But
you know what? I think I like Deontay Johnson more.
I don't know. I feel like that Cincy-Pittsburgh game could be another like 10-7 game because Cincy's going to be super conservative on offense.
But I feel like the Saints-Falcons could as well.
And well, check down Carr is playing, it looks like. So I don't know. Don't ever trust. This is tough.
I mean, Drake London was on a pretty good roll between weeks 4 and 8. He had 10.5 or more fantasy points in every single game. He actually really hasn't been that bad on the season, except for this goose egg week 1. Then week 3 and 10, he had 5.1 and 6.6. I mean,
44 and rainy in Cincinnati. The weather also. Atlanta indoors. That could help split you with two.
Like it's
Kenny
just
Pickett. Yeah,
it's frustrating because either of these guys should be like a great start, you know, like, but it's just they're tied to such bad offenses. Like Deontay's looked so flat the last 2 weeks. Like the whole passing offense has. I don't know. Maybe they
like the mojo in Pittsburgh has been very off the last few weeks when Pickens going on like social media and stuff, and then like they finally get rid of Canada, so maybe they're going to be juiced up. But it's not a good spot. Bengals 10 days off. They don't have Joe Burrow. Maybe they're demoralized, but show up for a home division game. I don't know. It's a tough spot.
Let's go London. I think we feel better about London. That was my initial call. I'm going to stick with it. We'll go Drake London. Goes for another league. I had CD, Laporta, Tyreek, and Waddle. Let's go. Yeah, I benched Waddle in a couple leagues. A great game. Mostert came through for me. Yeah, I was worried about him after that first half. I was like, oh, but he took care of it. Over 70 rushing yards, 2 tutties,
94 rushing yards on that last run. Couldn't get an extra 6 for us, but
Garrett Wilson had a garbage time touchdown, so it was like
a 1-yard garbage time touchdown on top of it. Finished with a good day. I think he had like 40, 45 and a tutty. That's a great day for the Jets.
Bryce, give me a team to use and rebuild. The Vikings.
Whoa, there's no rebuilding going on in Minnesota. What you talking about?
Yep. Yeah, Jack Del Rio got fired. Probably long overdue, and I probably won't be the only coach to be departing.
Robo Ron is short for this world.
They're letting him finish out the year for whatever. I mean, brought some stability to the team, and
I heard this ridiculous stat on Ron Rivera. He's coached 13 seasons. He's had 3 winning seasons in 13 years as a head coach. That's pathetic. That's so bad.
Went to Super Bowl.
Went to a Super Bowl.
With a great team. I mean, a great team.
They got a little lucky in that playoff. If you look at that, that was the year Blair Walsh missed that field goal in Minnesota. Otherwise, they would have had a couple of matchup problems, that Carolina team.
And they lost to the Broncos. Peyton Manning. Would you all start Tajay Spears or Roschon? Tajay. I mean, I don't want to start either, but it's Tajay gets the Panthers. They're the worst run defense in the league, so sure.
Yeah, Minnesota shut down Javante last week. They're banged up, but they still stop the run. They just can't cover people anymore.
Mhm. And Herbert will be in that rotation still with
Mhm.
Roschon. It's not like he's a clear RB1. And even when I don't know, I mean, when Roschon's got more touches this year due to injuries to other players, like he hasn't done a whole lot. So I go Tajay Spears. I think he's a fun like upside pick to score a touchdown potentially this week.
You feel really good if he busts like a 20-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
You feel real smart.
I mean, these guys playing the Panthers, so there's a chance.
We could run for 20-yard touchdown against Panthers.
I don't know. Chiron full week of practice. I read something weird that Sean McVay said that they might limit his touches. But I'm like, are you really? I don't know.
They cut Henderson. He's playing. He's getting touches.
Make maybe Royce Freeman vultures like 6 touches in this game, but Chiron's going to do his thing. I'm not going to let myself think anything else. Taking a flyer on A.T. Perry and our catch family, no MT. I think he could be productive. It could be. It's not a great matchup. It was like a stinker type of game, but
I'd feel a lot better if Winston was at quarterback.
Yeah. Did Winston throw that touchdown to him, or did Carr?
Yep, it was Winston. They had 3 points, I think, when Carr. They only got into that game because Carr got hurt. Carr is just abysmal. Winston at least is like, screw it, I'll throw it up. Somebody go catch it.
Yeah. I mean, different quarterback tendencies, something to think about, but I mean, I think A.T. Perry's worth holding on to, but I probably wouldn't personally start him this week. But hey, go for it, Tommy. Take the upside. It's been your thing this past week. White or D. Smith at running back? Why am I only thinking of Devonta Smith?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Who is that supposed to be a different name? I can't think of a single D. Smith at running back.
Darnell Smith. I don't know.
Maybe DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift. That could make sense.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, okay. It is. It's
Smith,
further than that.
Yeah.
Swift or
autocorrect. Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
we're not crazy. We're not crazy.
This is a good question because they both have really good matchups this week. The Colts have been very bad against running backs this year, as have the Bills. So I love both these guys this week. So let's see here. The exact numbers. The Bills are 24th against the position, so the 8th worst team. And the Colts are 27th, so the 5th worst team. I literally love both these guys this week. Like you could take a wide receiver out of your flex and start one of these guys, in my opinion. You could flip a coin. Just literally find a coin and write White on one side and Smith on the other, because I love Swift on the other side. I think both these guys are gonna have really good games. These are 2 of my favorite plays this week. But
Philly just does goofy stuff at running back sometimes.
Yeah, Swift's been really involved lately, which also the big fear with being a DeAndre Swift owner is like Swift would probably be like close to tying the league in rushing touchdowns this year if Jalen Hurts wasn't his quarterback. Because Jalen Hurts,
Philly just wasn't obnoxious. They're literally just doing it to troll at this point. I think they don't care.
And they had 2 against the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been really good against a run this year. It's like I think he'll get another one this week because the Bills are so bad against a run. So
they might run it from the 5 and just push in.
I think I'll go Rachaad White by like the smallest hair, just because there's less options in that offense. But it's so close. Like these are both great starts. Chat, who would you guys start this week? Rachaad White versus the Colts, or DeAndre Swift versus the Bills? Both great starts. Would you go Puka, Olave, or Collins this week? I like Puka this week, but he did score last week, which always makes me feel weird.
Rams can't do it 2 weeks in a row for like McVay is just the worst fantasy person ever. It feels like, just if you're trying to pick.
I feel like it's really hard for me to still bench Chris Olave. Like I still feel like even with Carr quarterback, he's a safe like 12-ish points. But I like Puka against the Cardinals this week because they just suck defensively. But I don't know. I feel like the Rams are also like one of these cursed teams for fantasy. Like anytime anyone plays them, both teams are like score 15 or less points. It's like you really have to hit on the right guys. Um, but I don't know. Hopefully the Rams defense sucks this week because it's at home for the Cardinals and we can see a lot of points if that's the case. So um I
I
mean,
like Pook. I think you talked me into Pookie. Like the Cardinals don't get much pressure against the quarterback either. Like Stafford's not gonna die, hopefully, again this week, like last week. Cup's a little iffy. He's gonna
sure.
play, but that means he's gonna get the first drive. So he'll have 10 catches on the first drive, 10 plays, 10 catches for him on the first drive. But after that, Puka's solid, especially like half PPR. I can't
Yeah,
I can't endorse anybody on the Saints. We do like Nico though. We do like
I
Nico.
go. Sure.
Let's go.
I,
Puka's safe, I feel like.
yeah, I mean last week I was basically like start Collins, start Dell, and start Singletary, and it paid off. So I don't know. I don't see why it'd be any different this week. Chiron, Puka, Cup should all be in your lineups. But I mean, it is a tough choice. There's good options there for you, Mark. All right, Chase, down 44 with Kyler, Hurts, Warren, McBride, Puka, Pittman. He is Chiron, Ingram, Olave, MVS. How am I looking?
Good.
He is MVS, so I mean, that's a
Looking
plus
great.
for you. I mean, this is still very doable.
You have
Chiron,
you have quarterbacks left. Like
that's
that's
true.
big time.
You have good players left. I mean, I'm assuming is it Superflex? They're starting Kyler and Hurts. That's a good thing.
It's got to be a super flex. But either or, you have a quarterback left. You have a good tight end left. I think Warren's gonna have a huge. Warren's gonna be a guy. He's gonna get all
I
the
like
touches.
Warren.
I think this
Yeah,
week. And we just talked about nobody likes MVS. He's trash. Ingram, you can't trust the Jaguars. Come on, Chiron. Sean McVay's gonna help you out this week. Maybe he's gonna give you 6 touches.
I actually think you're in a good spot here. Yeah, that Bengals Steelers game is like really feels really weird to me. But I like Jalen Warren a lot in it. I don't know if I like anyone else though. Josh Downs or Chris Godwin this week. I like Josh Downs more. The Colts have been surprisingly okay against wide receivers. I don't know. I mean, Godwin's one of these guys can always score, get 10 grabs. He's also a little banged up. We talked about Josh Downs earlier. I love this matchup for him. I go Josh Downs. Hopefully he's fully healthy, but he's had a bye week. I think he's good to go. Pick 2, half PPR, Cup, Olave, Dell. Cup and Dell. We're Olave haters, apparently.
It's not even a haters. It's Derek Carr haters. I would say Olave if Jameis was playing. I'd say Olave in a heartbeat.
But Dell and Cup just feel so good here, right?
Yeah, their quarterback gets him the ball. Like I'm a little iffy on Cup. Like CJ gonna get Dell the ball. He's gonna throw him the ball. Like some receivers need to get the ball just thrown to them. Just throw it to them. They'll catch it. Let them work.
And I think, it's half PPR, so we're looking at who's got the better chance to score. Olave, more of a full PPR guy. So, Cup and Dell. Full PPR, Tank or Nico. Yeah, so this is like tough. It's like if you manage a roster like Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, maybe not to that level, but last year, like you start both these guys, If I have to choose one, it's Tank Dell because he's presenting more upside at the moment, Nico is more the floor play, Tank gives you the upside. So I'll take the upside. But they're both fine.
Yeah, I mean, like 8 catches, 7 catches last week between them. Like you said,
Yeah.
Tank Dell just gives you that little extra hitting the home runs.
How do you feel about that game between the Texans and Jags?
It's must win for Jacksonville, obviously. Like the Jags have to win that game. Texans win that game. Like AFC South champ, Houston Texans is very much on the table with the tiebreaker now. I think Jacksonville's going to come out and play good. They played awful in that first game in Houston, and I think these teams have a reverse split Like Houston, I knew Houston played well in Jacksonville, and I think Jacksonville plays well in Houston. So they kind of got a reverse thing going. The Texans offense has to have a bad game. They've been too good for too many weeks in a row. They're due for just kind of like a I mean, look at what they did against Carolina. They were awful. So I'm thinking we're gonna have one of those down to earth games, maybe. A little too big of a spot for them on a young team.
Sure. Jags looked great last week. Lawrence looked great. Ridley looked great.
Finally.
I think ETN's gonna have a big game. Like him in this matchup a lot. GC playing Herbert, Keenan, and Baltimore's defense, but I'm contemplating playing Kyler over Herbert. I kind of still feel like if you have Herbert, you just stick with him. You know, the Ravens defense has been great this year, but they have had games where they have not been fantastic. You know, I mean, even against the Colts in week 3, they gave up 327 yards, 337 yards to Detroit in week 7, 310 to Arizona in week 8, 373 2 weeks ago to Cleveland.
Yeah, we just watched Watson carve them up in the fourth quarter, second half, fourth quarter, and they blew a 2-score lead. Like Herbert, I don't want to hear any negative talk of Justin Herbert anymore. His team, his coach are bottom barrel players. I mean, good God, he is dragging this football team to try and get wins.
Yeah. I mean, he's also sticking up for wide receivers like Quentin Johnston. Good trait, I guess, but at some point you gotta be like, I mean,
same with Mahomes. Yeah, like I gotta throw these. Not in public. When you get in that locker room, I'm throwing those guys under the bus. Like
I'm sure they
guys,
they have to, right?
You have to catch a football. Like just catch a football.
Maybe not a rookie wide receiver like Quentin Johnston. Like you got to build up some confidence, but a player like MVS, game-winning touchdown, you know, it's like, but in front of the media, you got to do one thing, right? Anyways, I agree though. Matt, I like Kyler this week, but I wouldn't be too afraid of Herbert. He's a QB5.
I think Kyler's like your average. Like he's gonna give you the average quarterback play every week, like 17 to 25 range. Like if you're going 6-point touchdown, just like he's gonna give you those average quarterback weeks, which is good. Like if you want consistency from your quarterback position, play Kyler. Like he's gonna throw a pick probably, so don't get too upset. Arizona looked good last week against Houston. They just bad fourth down decisions. They couldn't find the end zone. If they can find the end zone more consistently, Kyler could be a top tier quarterback.
Yeah, once again, something about playing the Rams makes me feel weird. This Rams team is like, their defense is good.
They play ugly football, even when their defense isn't good and they lose games because the defense won't stop somebody. But it's like they'll make you drag your knuckles for 4 quarters.
If anything, I don't really like Baltimore's defense this week. That would be the play I'd try to switch up here. But let us know who's out there. Smokey, what's up, dude? Bad week, but clinch playoffs. Let's go. 14-16 home leagues, nice. Catch fam leagues are still in the run. Man, I've been looking through the catch fam leagues, and it's like every league is like wide open. You know, like there might be like one team sitting at the top, but like just about every league, like you look like number 2 to like number 10 in each league. It's like there's a possibility, and even some leagues, like teams in 11 and 12 spots can get in too.
I think it's like 2 through 8 in our league. There's like one game apart.
Yeah, there's like so many leagues. It's like I feel good, like, but I also am like really worried if I lose like 2 games, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I probably trust a pathological liar more than Arthur Smith offense. Yeah, that's probably true. Just got offered Tank Dell for Jamar Chase. Am I crazy for considering it? You're not crazy. If you're like, you know, you're gonna make the playoffs, you can make this trade. Call me crazy. I still like Jamar Chase though. There's nothing wrong with Jamar Chase. You know, he's just moving down in tier. I think if anything, you kind of want to see how this weekend goes. Like see how this game goes, because it's a good matchup. It's a weak secondary. This offense still well coached, is tied to a lot of good skill position players, even if T. Higgins is not playing. Jake Browning looked okay in relief of Burrow on a tough spot. Thursday Night Football, tough defense. So, I mean, maybe just wait and see how Chase does in this game. But keep saying it. It's kind of like, Garrett Wilson and his teardrop. Like, it's going to be a teardrop here, but I don't know. I'd
Is
see
it
how
one tier or is it like 3 tiers? Is the question though. Garrett Wilson went down 3 tiers.
it might be like 3 tiers, but Wilson's been okay in full
This is
PPR.
like this is a good barometer. Like, not
Yeah.
great weather, horrible secondary. If he's not at least getting volume, then we can be worried about he should be seeing a lot of volume this week.
Yeah. But if you just want consistency on a good offense,
Tank.
I think it's an okay trade. But all I'm saying is, like, I think Chase will be okay-ish. Mac Jones, Breece Hall, or Godwin the flex. What's up, Caleb? Well, Breece Hall already played. He didn't do great. I stick with the quarterback here. I go Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones could have an okay game.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Hold on. I am getting ahead of myself, aren't I? He might not even play.
I don't think he is playing.
Yeah, they're like splitting the reps between him and Bailey Zappi.
I think it's going to be Zappi. But if they were smart, they would play Mac Jones because they need to lose this game. Patriots have to lose this game to get that draft pick. And the Giants are going to win with Tommy DeVito because Tommy DeVito feels like he wants to play football. He wants to play football.
Man, dude. So I think it's going to be a good game for Ramondre Stevenson and Saquon Barkley.
Yep. Glad to have both of those guys.
Yeah. Good matchups for both those guys. I actually think the Giants defense is going to show up in this game at home against a quarterback carousel. I would still say Mac Jones if the Bailey Zappi aspect of it wasn't in it. You got to go Godwin. Let's go Godwin. This could be a 5-point performance from Mac Jones. Go Godwin. What's up, Tingley? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving as well. Puka or Devonta Smith? We like Puka this week. Don't worry.
I don't hate Devonta Smith.
I don't hate him either. I always like Devonta Smith. That's my guy. And it doesn't I feel like he's one of these players that doesn't really matter what the matchup is.
Right, yeah. He's either going to get the ball thrown to him or not.
Yeah. Chiefs, tough matchup, makes a huge play. Saves your fantasy day. Flex Pacheco or the wide receiver that wasn't picked. I would go Puka and Devonta in full PPR. It is, yeah. I like Pacheco a ton this week, and Max Crosby might not play.
He sounds like he's not. He's doubtful.
Yeah, he's probably not going to play, which is that's huge. And the Chiefs, tough loss. All anyone is talking about in the media in regards to Chiefs is this new era of Patrick Mahomes. Look at Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. There's no pass catchers.
So they might air it out this week. The Chiefs might throw the ball 50 times just to get their receivers reps, get them hey, Vegas' secondary isn't terrible.
It's not.
They did a good job against Miami, kind of. I think Tua still threw for 300 yards.
The best
yards last week.
Bad team.
Bad defense.
They always are one of the best bad teams.
Them and the Commanders.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It used to be the Commanders, always that team that was winning 7 games for no reason.
Yeah. They in all seriousness though, this Vegas defense is not that bad. But they're not going to get any pressure on Mahomes. Their run defense has been bad for what it's worth. I like Pacheco a lot this week. That being said, I still go Puka and Devonta Smith. Full PPR. Wilson, asked this question in your last stream. Anything change your mind? Need to and standard. Oh, this one's so hard. This is you can't. All these guys are gonna have good weeks. I love ETN against Texans. Derrick Henry has to be in your lineup. He's playing the Panthers. It's a get right game. He's been on the road. He's not on the road. Both these offenses suck. This is just gonna be a Derrick Henry show, in my opinion. But I love Kyron at the Cardinals. I love JT. JT's got the worst matchup, but he's JT. I will go Henry and ETN.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I would go ETN first one jumped to my mind, and then Henry. I don't know. I'm kind of worried that the Titans may have packed it up, and it's like Henry's gone after this year. We're not gonna we're gonna try and see what the kids got. I don't know. It's kind of scary.
It's such a good matchup that like if Derrick Henry doesn't score a touchdown, it just doesn't make sense. It's like,
You
but
you feel way worse not playing Henry than and him doing something than you playing Henry and him not doing anything.
yeah, like I said, you cannot go wrong here though. You want to go Chiron against the Cardinals? Sure. If you want to go JT in a tough matchup against the Bucks, sure, I'd do it. But I would personally start Henry and ETN. But this is just one of those decisions that like any of these guys can outscore each other. You could think about it all day. Just trust your gut at the end of the day. Puka Barkley or Devonta for my flex. That's tough. I think I'd stick with Barkley though.
Yeah, he's been catching the ball. I caught a lot of balls from DeVito last week.
I like him this week against the Pats. Patriots defense, not great. Giants are at home, and I just feel like that guarantees a touchdown for Saquon. But I like all these guys. We were just talking about Puka and Smith. So,
do you see that stat? Like Saquon, when the Saquon scores a touchdown, the Giants are undefeated. When he doesn't, they're like winless.
really?
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, maybe you guys should prioritize getting Saquon into the end zone.
I wish he was on a different team. Unless Tommy DeVito stays the quarterback. Albert, what's up, man? Is Christian Watson flexible going forward? Yes. Yeah, he is. Based on matchup, like I think that's an important thing.
Well, they got the Chiefs next week, I think.
Like that's a tough matchup. But, you know, he had Detroit, he had the Chargers. Those are good matchups, you know. Then again, he had Pittsburgh the week before, and that was a good matchup. He had Minnesota in week 8, Denver in week 7. Las Vegas in week 5, Detroit in week 4. So
I mean, he's got Tampa Bay, and he's got the Chiefs, the Giants, and the Tampa Bay coming up.
Yeah, Giants, Tampa Bay, Minnesota in week 17 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's been really good against wide receivers, but you just never know. Kansas City is a tough matchup, but it's a home game for what it's worth. But yeah, he's flexible, sure. But he is still volatile. I listen. Yes, I have been hating on Christian Watson, and now he's doing things. But still, when you go back and you look at the stats on the season, he's still been very, very volatile. You know, 20 points, 10 points, 4, 6, 5, 11, 10. Like he's still only in your flex and volatile. But you can start him over these guys listed. I'm still fine with starting Garrett Wilson. But I don't know. This Jets train is quickly
derailed. It's already derailed. Like it's off the tracks. Like it's all bad.
On fire. Even after the game today, Garrett Wilson, like the press was not happy.
Yeah, he wants to get like. I don't think Robert Saleh is a bad coach. He's going to get fired because if they messed up the quarterback so bad.
Everything. I mean, just the entire management of the team. It's just been bad. It's just been bad. Oh, we're going to see Trevor Siemian next week, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, we were super behind in the chat. Let's going to try and get caught up. What's going on, Dom? Thoughts on Devin Singletary? You can start him if you need to because the volume's been there. I'm not worried about Damian Pierce. I think this is Singletary's show now. But it's a bad matchup this week. And I think that the Texans are going to be forced to throw the football rather than run it. He can always stumble into the end zone. But he's a desperation start. I don't want to start him. Tank Dell's a wide receiver in my flex. I don't think I can take him out. Oh, don't take Tank. No. Keep Tank out. Don't keep
Tank the man. Play Tank. Play Tank.
Play Tank. Don't take Tank out. That's what I was trying to say. Pick one. Keaton Mitchell, Christian Kirk, Singletary. I'd start Christian Kirk. I mean, if you guys have a question, Christian Kirk's involved. I'm probably going to say start Christian Kirk.
So. He's your boy. We do know that.
Yeah. But I do like him this week. This will be a game with I don't know. I'm in between on this Jags Texans game. I could see it being like a
Oh,
2016 score,
we're like in the
or
30s. Yeah.
yeah, you know. But I go Christian Kirk. It's a good matchup for him. Last week was a good matchup for Ridley. It's a better matchup, kind of in between the sticks. Get those PPR points up. But I'm also biased. I see Christian Kirk involved. I tell you to play him. Need two wide receivers in a flex. Who should I start? I have Thielen, Puka, Cup, and Pacheco. Also starting Bijan and Brees. Puka and Cup. Screw the
Double dip.
Cardinals.
Okay.
I actually like all four of these guys. I really like this matchup for Thielen. And I also especially like the fact that there's probably going to be some garbage time in this game. So I think that even if Thielen's not doing a whole lot throughout the
Do you
game.
really think there's going to be garbage time in this game? I think
Well,
this
I just
game's
mean
just going to
like
be garbage.
that is what I mean. That there's just going to be like they're going to be throwing the ball till the end of the game because this game's just going to suck. So I think that could be good for Thielen. Kind of like Garrett Wilson today, finding the end zone at the end, like similar. But I don't see a really high ceiling for Thielen necessarily. Titans secondary does stink. But I also
Titans are
worry.
undefeated at home though. Like they're super weird. They play awesome at home.
I'm really worried that like Bryce Young's just going to get pummeled this like whole game.
Yeah,
like destroyed.
like
So I'm not going to start Thielen over guys like Puka or Cup who play the Cardinals. But I do want to emphasize. So another question where I'm not really leaning towards Pacheco, but I really, really like Pacheco this week. I wish you could have started Pacheco over Brees. It's too late. But yeah, I say fire up the Rams offense against the Cardinals. If you don't like the Cup situation, a little banged up, put Pacheco in. All right. I also have Swift and White and also Warren. Dilemma. That is a dilemma. That's a dilemma to say the least. Start all of them, GC. They are all good at football this week. I mean, I seriously like in like the lower tier running backs. I really like all three of these guys this week. So trust your gut. So crystal ball telling you I'm down 70. Opponent has Stevenson, Godwin, Kelsey, Kincaid. That's it. I mean, it depends on who you have. Have you not played anyone?
the whole team. I'm assuming you have left. If you're down 7 and he's got 70 and he's got this many guys left, and you haven't played and you've played people, you've lost. Like it's over.
If you don't have anyone who's played, then you might be okay. Oh wait,
Yeah,
I own Dobbs, White, Dell, Chase, Flowers, Taysom, Dicker, Vikings defense. Just kidding.
No, not kidding. This is either going to be a really good week for them or a really bad week for them.
Dude, I started them in the league last week. I didn't tell you.
Yeah, they're a good down the stretch defense. We talked about it, but it's like they're in a bad spot. They're super, super banged up and they're gassed. The bye is next week. This is a team that really, really needs to get to the bye. So maybe they can empty the tanks against Chicago on Monday. But I got a bad feeling about this one. Like this could be like a 31-14 Bears win.
I do expect points in that game.
Not from us. Our offense is trash. Josh Dobbs is not a very good quarterback when it comes to playing quarterback.
But it's the Bears.
Bears D has looked really good since they played us the first time. They played us the first time, and they've been good since.
We'll see.
We did murder Justin Fields the first game, so maybe we'll do it again.
I like that being the last game of the week. I don't know why. All right, Waddle Stevenson for Diggs. Should I do it? I'm 8-3. Have Zay, Warren as my flex options. No, I keep the depth here. Depth just becomes really important this time of year, moving in the playoff push. I keep the depth. It's a fair enough trade, but Waddle looked good today. The Dolphins in the last 2 weeks have remembered that Jalen Waddle is on their team. And I feel like Stevenson is a good end-of-year running back. I mean, if you want to get Diggs, I'm not going to, blame you. But
You're 8-3. You don't want to stir the pot. This is a good locker room. Locker room's feeling good. You don't want to mix things up when you're 8-3.
Waddle and Stevenson, great locker room guys. Diggs,
Not so much. You can go
I've
off the
heard
handles
things.
at any moment. Any moment.
Tyreek's giving me anxiety with him getting banged up every game. I know. I had a ton. I just needed a touchdown from Tyreek for a lot of parlays going in the weekend. Easy money. Had to throw it on there. I usually don't like mix, Thursday, Friday. We never have Friday games, but
You should have done like a Thanksgiving block, like Thursday, Friday, and then done.
I did.
You've been killing it the last few weeks, so let's chill. Any move you make is the right one.
Except for the Lions money line. But anyway,
Everybody lost the Lions. Don't worry about that.
I was super scared today when like the first update from the game, because I didn't watch like the first like 5 or 10 minutes. I like pulled up Instagram and like the first thing I see is Tyreek, and I'm like,
Yeah, no.
and then then I saw he went right back in basically. Casey, what's up? Had to pick 2 wide receivers from Diggs, DJ Moore, Puka, or Adams. I love DJ Moore this week. Love him. But you can't bench Diggs. And this Philly secondary is still not good. They've been better-ish.
No, they're not good. Dallas carved them up 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks? They carved up this Philly secondary.
Diggs, DJ Moore, for sure.
Kansas City carved up that Philly secondary. They just couldn't catch the ball. The guys were open.
True. That's so true.
So open.
That's true. That is the missing piece, because they've been awful. Then like they didn't look like they didn't play that bad last week, but they actually played awful. It's just Kansas City's offense played worse.
They had 6 drops. Kansas City offense had 6 drops.
Yeah. Diggs and DJ Moore for me, but I like Puka, and Adams should have good volume, but I'll Diggs and DJ Moore is my answer. I did play Kenneth Walker by accident in one league. Yes, I did. There was something. Okay, here's what happened in that specific league, if anyone cares. I had Kenneth Walker. I was leaving him there because my other choice was A.J. Dillon, but I was trying to wait to see if Aaron Jones was going to play or not against the Lions, and he did play. And then by the time the Seahawks game rolled around and I still was forgetting, I literally checked my lineup at 8:20 exactly. Like exactly on the dot. And I was like, oh, I need to take Kenneth Walker out. Then I was like, oh, it won't let me. And I was like, oh, I screwed this whole thing up. I totally forgot about this. I am in 15 leagues. And yeah, it can be. You make mistakes. So afraid of Thursday Night Football that I sack Goff, have T-Law and Dobbs 6 points. Should I trust T-Law, or am I catching the last week's production? I think we like T-Law more this week.
Yep. I mean, Dobbs will get you a rushing and a passing touchdown, but he'll have 2-3 turnovers.
Both are fine. It's not actually a great matchup. Houston's defense has been good, but I lean T-Law, and Pete is too biased to answer this question.
No, like we lean T-Law. I hate T-Law.
I'm just kidding.
God, man, he's got Houston's defense not that good. Joe Burrow carved them up when he needed to.
They do tend to bend. Yeah.
They bend. I mean, Tampa Bay, Baker. Yeah, I was gonna say Baker went right down the field on them. T-Law, he has to do something. If he doesn't do anything and they lose this game, maybe they're gonna draft a new quarterback. Who knows what's going on there?
Yeah, I would go T-Law. Yeah, Goff had a good day, even though he also had a bad day.
He had like 3 turnovers.
Fantasy, he still salvaged it. Flex 2 and full PPR: Bijan, Ridley, Kincaid, Connor, Cook. Bijan, and I really want to say Kincaid. Philly's been really bad against tight ends this year, but Ridley's okay. I go Bijan and Kincaid. Call me crazy.
It's always crazy to play a tight end.
Yeah, but Kincaid's not really a tight end. He just lines up at the tight end spot. He's getting more targets than Diggs right now.
We don't know what's going on with the Bills offense, okay? It's a whole thing.
It is. If you want to go Ridley over one or the other, I don't blame you. But I like the first 3 more than Connor or Cook in the flex. Pittsburgh or the Saints? I'd probably go Pittsburgh. I mean, they're facing a backup quarterback.
They're going to get a lot of sacks is the thing.
Yeah, I think they can get some turnovers, some sacks. I think they're still going to give up some points, but I like them. The Saints defense, good, but they're not good in fantasy. And I don't know. I don't trust them. I like Pittsburgh a lot. If Tyreek ends as wide receiver one, y'all think it'll be the consensus number one next year, or will it be CMC? It's going to
Depends.
depend if people want to draft a running back or wide receiver first. I don't know. CMC's had such a that's a tough
And
question.
like half PPR leagues, like you kind of have to draft CMC as a running back who pass catches out of the backfield on top of his running because you're double dipping. But Tyreek catches a ton of passes too, and he goes for a lot of yards.
I think it should be Bijan Robinson.
Again, we're on. As long as Arthur Smith's not the head coach.
I don't know. This past year, people went towards JJ. It was kind of the first year. We did a short on that. It was the first year in a long time that the consensus number one pick was not a running back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that trend continues. It's Tyreek. But I don't know. It could.
I don't think there'll be no. I don't think it'll be a consensus. I think it'll just be
It's true.
everyone kind of 50-50s it.
Tommy DeVito wants to move out of his parents' house. No way. He's got a good setup. Start the Saints or Tennessee. I'd start Tennessee. Call me crazy.
No, the Carolina's offense is so bad, bad.
Yeah, I like them this week. Yeah, I don't trust the Saints. They're the defense 17. They've shown up twice this year. Other than that, they've been bad. I mean, they're probably okay. I'd probably like them more if they're at home, but you have problems with both these defenses. Like Tennessee still has a bad secondary, but like Pete said, they play well at home. So I'll go Tennessee. Happy PR, Collins or Flowers? Ooh. I'll go Collins. But I like Flowers. Gets the Chargers. I do. But all of a sudden, OBJ stealing targets. Flowers has to step up with Andrews out at this point. He has to, but
we just don't know what we're going to see out of the Ravens offense. This offense could go right back to what it used to be. No Andrews. Oh, here goes Lamar. We can't throw the ball anymore.
Here goes Nelson Aguilar and Keaton Mitchell every play, and then Gus Edwards at the 1 yard line. It's like, so I go Collins. Depending on how Diggs does Sunday, do I still trade Diggs and Watson for CD and Njoku, have Johnny Smith at tight end? I said to do this before Christian Watson had a good game. I just really like CD. And if you really want the move at tight end, then I think you can do it. But I am like, I've been a CD truther throughout the year, and he's just really shown up lately. I like the upcoming schedule. I think you can still do it, but you're losing two valuable players. But CD outweighs Diggs, and Watson is okay volatile flex play for sure. And Njoku I'd rather have than Johnny Smith though. So.
CD against the Lions in the championship game at home in prime time.
And that playoff seeding will be involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. If the Cowboys lose to the Eagles again, they're done, so it don't matter.
I guess that might be true.
But they play the Eagles in 2 weeks. Again, another team that they should go all crazy again. When are teams going to start double covering CeeDee Lamb? Like, he's not him if you don't double cover him. And nobody double covers him. Everyone just leaves him one-on-one, and Dallas just totally exploits it.
Dallas is a really interesting team right now, man. But they're going to lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, they can't beat anybody that's a real team. They haven't beat a winning team. They have not
true.
beat a team with a winning record.
Did you see Tim the Tap Man?
No. Was he
oh, my God.
Going off on?
Yeah. He's like streaming, and someone is like
calling him out.
Makes a donation about the Cowboys like sucking or something. Or like what they say, like, I don't know, I'll send a bigger donation when the Cowboys beat a good team, and he's like talking about all the good teams and he's like, I want to pull up the records of every team we beat this year. And he's showing the records, and he's like, his face is just getting like more and more like, oh, we really have not beat a team with a winning record all season long.
No,
And he's
Dallas
like,
Cowboys are perfect.
he doesn't even catch it. He's like, we beat the Cardinals, and the record's on the screen.
They didn't beat the Cardinals.
And yeah, exactly. That's right. The score's on the screen. It's so
Yeah.
funny. And then at the end, he like,
Oh
he's
yeah, I
he's like
guess.
best team in the NFL. But it's
Yeah,
just fun.
the Cowboys are the best. I told you, the Dallas Cowboys are the best team with a 10-point lead, and they're the worst team with a 10-point deficit. If they're up 10, they're going to
Yeah.
beat you by 30. They will pour
mean,
it on.
Exactly. Their fourth quarters have been crazy this year.
They're averaging like 30-point wins at home.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, they'll lose to a good team in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Do you guys know the Rams recalled Henderson in practice squad? I did. Yes. We'll see what happens. I don't know what Sean McVay is ever thinking at running back. Sit one, Kamara, Eckler, Swift. Whew. And you already started Monty. Whew. I mean, you're living the dream, man.
Yeah.
I mean, even Eckler in a bad matchup, like, it's Eckler. What do you do here? These are all great options.
I think you sit Eckler, but I don't really want to sit Eckler. I'd rather sit Kamara. I feel like you have to play Swift against Buffalo.
Not a good matchup for Kamara or Eckler. So you could look at it that way.
Kamara does catch, but he catches so many passes.
It doesn't matter for either of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you go. Wow, you can't bench Eckler. You can't.
Okay, see bench Swift? No.
He's banged up a little bit. Maybe that is a thing. It doesn't matter. This is one you really just gotta trust your gut. Because, like, I mean, you already had a good start out of Monty. You're gonna get a good start out of all these guys. You know? Kamara has the Falcons. So let's see here. If I can find him on my sheet. Not on my sheet because he's listed as a must start. And so is Eckler. So I don't have those numbers in front of me. But they're both tougher matchups. I can't. I don't have an answer.
Yeah. Flip a coin. Ask Google. Ask Google to pick one.
Don says bench Kamara if Jameis starts. That's a
Jameis is not starting though. It's gonna be Carr. So.
Dang, is it really Eckler? It might be Eckler. He didn't have a good game.
Eckler's had some stinkers, but not really since he's gotten back healthy.
20 or more points 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
It's a home game. You're going to draw something up. Sit whoever you like the least. You just can't go wrong. Sometimes that's how it is.
You're going to go wrong. Like, one of these people is going to be terrible.
Yeah. Chad, who would you guys sit? Kamara, Eckler, or Swift? All right, Chris Olave, Collins, or Josh Downs. Pick 2 to start. Collins and Downs based on matchup. Tommy DeVito, Patrick Mahomes. Tommy DeVito, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I hate Mahomes.
Addison or London? I'll go Addison.
Dobbs doesn't really throw him the ball, though.
It's the Bears.
The Bears aren't bad.
I wonder how they come in against wide receivers. 22nd, so the 10th worst team fantasy-wise.
Okay, but that's like skewed for the beginning of the season where they were the worst team in football. They're like the Broncos. I need to look at it after they beat the Commanders. Like, what are they doing? Doing okay.
Probably fair. I think these guys are pretty equal this week, though. Like, I don't see a lot of upside. More floor plays overall. Ollie and Addison.
Both have bad quarterbacks as far as it comes to throwing the football downfield, targeting their guy.
I miss Kirk Cousins. Am I allowed to say that?
No, you are, because looking at the Viking schedule, it's like I think we'd win the division if Kirk Cousins was healthy. Like they would torch the Lions secondary.
Lions have a weakness. I don't know how far they're gonna go, man.
I told you, I went on the limit. The Vikings lose to the Bears, Nick Mullins is going to start after the bye. Josh Dobbs' experiment is over if they lose to the Bears.
I've heard murmurs of that.
Mm.
All right, we
Nick
gotta
Mullins is. I like. Yeah, let's run it through. But I like Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins is solid.
Start 2, full PPR. Olave, Puka, Adams. Puka and Adams. We hate Olave, so we'll probably do well. But
We hate Derek Carr, not Olave. We just hate Derek Carr.
Sure. Fields or Dobbs?
Fields.
T-Law or Fields? I'll say T-Law for the floor, Fields for the upside, though. There's more risk with Fields, but if you want the upside, take it. Thoughts on Dak Prescott rest of the season? Yes, he is that good.
If he plays a sub 500 team, he's awesome. Or the Eagles, he's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just a lot of competitive matchups coming up for the Cowboys. He's just like, he should be in your lineup for the rest of the year. Was offered Purdy and Kamara for Dak. I mean, if you have a gaping hole at running back, you could do this. Otherwise, if you're good at running back, I don't think you really need to do it. Caleb, will Mark Andrews play this season? Probably not the fantasy season. Maybe the regulars.
Not the regulars. It's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah,
Super Bowl or bust, I heard. He had the surgery.
Yeah, so I wouldn't bank on it. Pick 2, Najee, Ford, Herbert, Watson, Guyton. Najee and Ford. Best volume. Trade away Javonte for Henry and Dynasty. Good move. If you're contending, yeah, sure. Also traded away Mike Evans and got Monty and Cooper. Good move. Fine. You got Monty. I believe this team is contending, Caleb, if I remember correctly. Got Pollard and Dynasty for Cooks and Noah Brown. That was a good trade.
Yeah.
That was a good trade, even if you're not.
Finally. Tony Pollard.
Yeah,
Finally.
Told you guys last 2 weeks. Trust these matchups. Joe, happy Thanksgiving to you. Started Mostart today. Now I need one out of ETN, Swift, Warren, and Cook. Already a close matchup considering he had Miami D and Hall. I had Mostart in Dallas D. ETN, really tough choice. But ETN has been a must start every single week. It's a good matchup. I trust ETN. Would I be surprised if Swift or Warren outscore him? No, but I would stick with ETN. Don, happy Thanksgiving to you. Shakir, Flowers, Rice, or Rondell Moore? I like Shakir as a sneaky option, but I'd probably go Flowers out of these guys. Rice just doesn't get the volume. He can actually catch the ball, but they're only going to target him 4 or 5 times a game. Good to see you, Don. Manuel, should I start the Steelers or Texans? Steelers. Should we just make a collective pact to never pick the Lions to win on Thanksgiving again? I will never pick them to win a game ever again because they lost me a huge parlay this week and only them and nothing else. I'm mad at them. Taysom Hill, Muth, Meyer, PPR. Pat Freiermuth. The Bengals are the 4th worst team in the league against tight ends. I think he's going to have that. Last week they played the Browns, the best team against tight ends. I think Freiermuth, they're going to draw some stuff up for him this week. That's my bold prediction. Taysom Hill, if you want to either hate your life or
torture yourself.
No in between. Do we bench Kamara if Jameis starts? Well, looks like Carr is going to play, like we talked about earlier. Even then, he could still start him if Jameis played. It's still Kamara, but he's better with Carr. Puka or Chiron in the flex. Puka and PPR. But Chiron's okay. Stevie, what's up, man? Thank you for stopping in. What's up, dude? Good to see you. What up, what up? AJ Dillon droppable. Not with Aaron Jones dinged up.
No, he looked good yesterday.
Yeah. My draft for OBJ. If it depends. Do you need the running back or the wide receiver? What do you need more depth at the moment? I really like OBJ, but maybe that's just because I'm an OBJ fan. I always have been. And now that he's actually playing well and the Ravens are a good offense, Mark Andrews is hurt.
Are they a good offense? I don't know if they're a good offense without Mark Andrews.
They're a unique offense.
They're the Ravens.
Catching the ball. So I'm like, I only went over after OBJ in waivers last week because I was like, I want OBJ on my team if he is going to be good. He'll probably get hurt this week and miss the rest of the season, but I'm all for it. But yeah, Tommy, do you need the running back? Do you need the wide receiver? whatever you need more. We got you, Joe. No worries. Pick up Njoku and drop Dylan. No, I will keep Dylan. He's a really good handcuff to have right now because Jones has already been hurt once this year. I listen. You might not get the highest ceiling out of Dylan, but if he's getting the touches, he's getting the touches.
I think they're going to start running the ball a little bit more here because teams are going to be like, oh, Jordan Love isn't garbage, so we might have to play some pass defense.
I told you J-Lo will come back this year. Little rough stretch, but we'll see what happens. Should I pick up Bobby Trees in a deep fantasy move? Maybe he gets traded. No. Bobby Trees is like the epitome of what you should not pick up in Dynasty.
His career might be over by the end of this year.
Yeah.
He may not play again.
If you're really, really, really hurting at wide receiver and you're contending, sure, it's Dynasty. You can make some weird moves, but I probably wouldn't do it. RBs are Eckler, Kyron, A-Chain, Keaton Mitchell. I would keep A.J. Dillon. I would keep A.J. Dillon because A-Chain's hurt. Kyron's coming off being hurt. Eckler's been hurt this year.
Mitchell doesn't get the ball for some reason.
You just can't trust that the Ravens are going to. Yeah, exactly. All injury prone. Yeah. A.J. Dillon more important for you. And I think if that's the same team, you have kind of weird wide receivers, but you have wide receivers you can play. Happy PR League, the Tyreek owners 3-8. I've offered Olave, Singletary, and Kyron for Tyreek and White. Yeah, he might do it if he took off White. Like if it's just straight up for Tyreek. Like you're trading for the best player in fantasy football at his position. So other running backs, Kamara, ET, and JT. Other receivers are Cup, Dell, JJ. I mean,
it's gonna cost you ETN or JT or Kamara to get him.
Or like
nobody's gonna bite on Singletary or Kyron.
Or JJ. Like, yeah. It's even if they're 3-8, like
they're not giving it up. They're not giving it up. They'll rather lose with him than let you have him and win.
Yeah. So you're going to give up probably more. I mean, you can't just like throw like 3 mediocre players or 4 or 5 mediocre. And I mean, like in this context, these players are mediocre compared to Tyreek, And like especially getting White back too. White's been great.
The rest of the league would veto this. Like the teams that are in the playoffs competing against you, they're gonna insta veto it. There's like no way.
Yeah, but it's worth a try. Why not? I got caught for Pickens. That's right. He did do that. I mean, just keep making offers. Maybe something happens. Have a good night, Tommy. Thanks for hanging out, man. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, finally made it to the bottom of the chat. Over an hour for the night, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. So thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Most importantly, thank you guys for the fantasy questions and allowing us to try and help you the best we can. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are enjoying the holiday weekend or whatever it is that you guys do after Thanksgiving. And it's almost Christmas time, so I'm excited. And we're getting so close to the end of the fantasy season. I can't believe it. But thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys are new to the channel, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys come back for more. Consider subscribing. And do the YouTube stuff. Hit the like. Links are down below. Join our free Discord. Follow us on Instagram. Best places for me to communicate with you guys. Give you guys updates for the channel. All that good stuff. And I just dropped Pete's channel after the review sports in the chat for you guys. Go drop Pete a sub as well. Go show him some support. And that will do it for the night. Pete, you want to say anything before we hop off of here?
Nope. Absolute joy, as always. Friday nights are the move, it seems like. Just remember, everybody, even if your season is over, you can ruin everybody else's season. So that should be your goal. Ruin people's seasons if you aren't in the playoffs. And if you're fighting for that spot, let's dig deep and get those dubs.
Always, always, always set the best possible lineup. That's all that matters. Jerry, what's up, dude? Thank for everyone in the Catch fam. Nothing but love for you guys. John, you're looking handsome. Screw you, senior. Uh-oh. Poor senior Cinnabon's not even here. Talking smack.
Can't even defend himself.
It's rivalry dates back to year 1 of the Catch fam. When we didn't even have a fantasy league that year. We had a mid-season fantasy league.
Oh.
Because that's when people we had enough subscribers and people interested. which is a great league, which is that league still lives on to this day. Thank you, Jerry. Love you, bro. And happy Thanksgiving to you. Hope you had a great one. Flowers or rice? Flowers. Oh, you didn't mean to buy a super chat? I'll send you $4. Thanks, Jerry. Sorry if you didn't mean to buy a super chat.
Make Cinnabon pay for it.
Yeah. Good to see you, Jerry. Thank you for ending the stream on a good note. And hope to hear from you soon, man. OBJ or Downs?
Downs.
OBJ.
Oh, you're going OBJ? Such a homer. Unbelievable.
OBJ.
He's in love with OBJ.
Oh, I get what you're saying now, Jerry. You didn't want me to get off stream before you read it. Okay, gotcha.
Perfect.
All right, guys, that does it. Thank you for the super chat, Jerry. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Black Friday. We'll talk to you guys soon. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, out here on the catch. And peace.